Hey, hello guys. My name is Arun Tyagi, and now we are taking our discussion to phase two, where we had already discussed solid principles. Now we are going to discuss about patterns, and in patterns, we are having creational patterns first. So in that, today we are taking builder pattern. We are talking about builder pattern now. How we can do builder pattern is actually not very straightforward but not very complex also. It is you just have to see how we are using oops, how we are using inheritance to achieve it. But before we jump into that, the real thing we need to understand here is why we need builder pattern, right? So first of all, what this builder pattern is stating, this is official definition of builder pattern, that in builder pattern is a design pattern designed to provide a flexible solution to various object creation problems, right? And the intent of it is really to provide you a simple and a beautiful way of object creation for clients, whoever is using it. Now, to discuss builder pattern, I'm just taking an example of a pizza class, that how a client can create pizzas, right? Object of pizza class. So before I directly jump into builder pattern, how we can do it, let's just see that what are the problems in constructor. Though these are known, and if you are using constructor, obviously you are using constructor. If you are working on a project, a complex project, you might have faced these issues for sure. So here I took a pizza class and I'm having some basic properties like name, base type, cheese burst or not, right? And a list of add-ons. Now there can be different, when you are actually creating the pizza object, what you want to provide different options to your client. And obviously, because pizzas are having different varieties, right, you cannot simply provide one type to your client. When you will do that, so one is you are having multiple options, and if you see the constructor which is having a lot of options is actually having a lot of options of same type, maybe string, right? And in your constructor, wherever you are having a lengthy constructor, you can see if there are too many options of same type, people can make mistakes, sending wrong type in a wrong constructor. In place of a base type, actually I can send something like a name, or in place of a name I can send a base type, right? So there it is very much error prone. You can get errors here for sure. Second is the limitation. This is like someone can make that mistake. Second is we also have a limitation. Let's suppose I don't want to take name, because maybe when somebody is calling a type and I already know that what is going to be name of it, for example. So if I want to give a constructor where you will pass base type only, I cannot do that, right? Though I want to provide this option where you are passing a second type but not the first one, I cannot do it because you already have a constructor. You already have, you can say, a declaration which is having a input type as string and one input type. So this thing is not allowed. So things like this are you can say limitation of constructor. Second thing is, all of these types are actually of same name. Means whenever you will call any of these constructor, what you will do, you will do like pizza equals to new pizza, and then you will pass number of um, parameters into that. But this is again, you can say, there's no error. This is it is kind of you are giving multiple options for the same thing, right? So it is kind of ambiguous, you can say. People who are using it can get confused with it, and that is why people are providing a lot of documentations, commenting on it, that you should pass this parameter, first parameter is this, second parameter is this and all. So for simple class creation, this is okay, this is doing a good job. But for complex objects, for complex constructors, this way is not effective for sure, right? That is where we need to have some creational patterns, right? which can overcome the limitations of a constructor. So now we are moving towards builder pattern, that if we need to create something like this, how builder pattern can help us, right? Okay, so now we will go slowly into builder pattern. So here I took the same class, that a pizza class having these basic properties, and here I'm not talking about functionalities because we are just talking about the creation of it, right? So if we have to create something like this, what I want to give to my client is that they should be able to, so for now ignore this pizza builder. What I want is, I want that they should be able to, in a very beautiful way, in a very sophisticated way, they should be able to instantiate, they should be able to, initialize all the values, all the parameters of that object. So here what we are doing is that in a builder, my name is this, my base is this, my, whether it's a cheese burst or not, then my add-ons are like add this, add this, add this, and thus this list can go on. In one object you can have only 5 add-ons, but in another list you can have 15 add-ons, right? So here we are providing a very beautiful way. There are less chances that someone will pass a type in a name, right? There are less chances that you will be able to, you do have a flexibility to add as many as add-ons you want, right? Now how we can achieve this? This is just the beauty of object oriented, how we can achieve something like this. I'm sure you guys have seen string builder, right? So and the reason there we use string builder is because string is immutable, you cannot change it, right? Because of different reasons. That is why they gave you a builder, that if you want to add more things into it, use a builder rather than direct object. Same way here, rather than you use a pizza to do anything, actually do it with the builder, and finally your builder will give you the object. So in string builder also, finally it will give you a string. Same way. So now to achieve this, what we are doing here, what we did is we actually separated out creation. We passed that responsibility to someone else and we are calling it a builder. So here if you can see, we separated it out, like we are having multiple parts to create the object. And obviously here, though pizza is a simple class, in your objects, in your complicated project, you will see that you have multiple parts and you can logically separate them out. That is what I'm trying to showcase here. Rather than taking a simple builder, I'm taking a builder which is having sub parts, multiple parts of it. So to do that, first we just created a facade that this is a builder, though this is not a builder. This builder is actually holding the real builders inside it. So what we did is, here is we created a class, we are calling it a builder. In that we created multiple parts, whatever logical parts you want to divide your real object in. Here I just took 2 examples, that type is my main thing, and then I can do add-ons, right? So I created these 2 builders in reality. Now let's go to one builder, and this part is actually very simple. So if I go to my pizza type builder, what this guy is having, nothing but, first of all, in your constructor you are passing the instance which you are creating whenever somebody is creating the instance of a builder, right? You are passing the same object so that you can return the same object. Basically you can keep the same object. So now if I want to update the name, so the simple thing I'm doing is these are like functions to update properties of my objects. So for name, you will pass a name. I will update the property of that object, and then simply return the basically same object back, right? And if you want to update a base, then you will pass the value. I will update the value and simply return the same instance, right? And the other thing as well. Same thing I'm doing in add-ons, right? If in add-ons, one is obviously constructor. In add-on, whenever you want to add anything, I'm simply adding that into the list, right? And returning the same instance. Now the beauty is, if you see how client is calling like builder.type name, then a dot base, then type cheese burst, then add-ons. So here it is returning this, right? And this is same instance. Then we are able to call the second part from it only, calling add again, and here I can actually call anything of type again easily. How we are doing it? That is pure inheritance. What we did here is all my builders, sub builder, I actually inherited them from my parent type, one type. We called it a facade, right? But this is your base builder, right? So whenever you are actually returning, because this is inheriting from this, then type is this. So from here so if I'm returning a pizza builder, because this is actually nothing but this base type, then from this I can access this property at any point of time. From the same this I can access this property at any point of time. So this is nothing but the magic of your inheritance, which we are emphasis on here, and we are using that property to achieve this beauty, which we are calling it a builder pattern, right? So nothing complicated here. It is like just giving a beautiful way to create objects, right? So that's it about it. I tried to simplify it, right? Nothing complicated. Go over this code. Please download this code. Go over it and see if you are having some dense complex constructor. Can you use a builder pattern there? Normally people are not using. Builder pattern is one of the pattern I have seen least used in real projects. Next we will talk about factory and others. Those are actually people use them very often, but this one I have seen it in my career least used, but this is a very good pattern. If you guys are having workers, right? So most of the cases when we are creating object of the queue, the data packet which you will send via queue to my worker role, normally queues are having different kind of parameters always, because you are maybe sending different kind of data type, right? There you can use a builder pattern easily, because I have seen people are actually using just constructors, that constructor A, constructor B, and complex constructors, and then sending those commands to your worker role. Anyway, I will not go in that complexity. Use it, see it in your code. If you're not using it, try to use it. You will learn it, and you will enjoy it then. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, take care. Bye bye.